Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I bring you another trash to treasure using recyclable trashed items and turning them into these beautiful home decor. So stay tuned. Alright guys, so for my first DIY, I am going to use these three little tiny bottles. These are the ones that have like yogurt inside. They're for kids. And as soon as I saw the shape, I told my kids, don't throw those away. I'm going to use them for a trash to treasure. So I kept several of them, and here I am going to use three. I'm going to cut off the top portion of it because that's where I guess it's just a little too hard, and I want it to be a little bit more flush. So because I will be gluing two of them together and then gluing a cup on top. So I want that top to be nice and almost like flatter, I guess is what I'm looking for. Once I had them cut to where I wanted, I'm going to take some Dollar Tree white sand. It doesn't have to be the white sand. It can be any sand or anything you can pour onto the bottom containers or bottom bottles, because I need something to keep them kind of heavy so they don't tip over. So I'm just going to fill them all the way up. Again, just two of them, because I'm going to turn these into these pillar decorative items, and I want them to not tip over when I put florals on them or whatever I may want to put on them. And that is why I am using some sand, but you can use flour, sugar, it doesn't matter. So now I'm going to glue two of them together because I want one to be higher than the other one. And I'm just going to use some hot glue and then glue them just like that. What was nice was that the hot glue kind of melted a little bit of the plastic, and it gave it a very, very firm and secure hold. And now I am going to hot glue these disposable cups. These are just those regular cups that you can get like at the grocery store or whatever. I have several of them, and I'm just going to grab two of them and hot glue one on each. Now I am taking them outside. I'm going to give in one full coat of this Rustoleum hammered spray paint, and this is like their hammered like silver look or tone. And I just gave it one coat, but I make sure that everything was nice and covered. Now that the paint is dry, I am going to dry brush some white paint on them. This is Rustoleum Chalked paint in the linen white, and I'm just going to dry brush them using my chippy brush very lightly, just to give it a little bit more character and a little bit more dimension. We are just about done with this one. This was so easy to do, and what a great way to reuse these little tiny containers. And I love these pillars because you can use them with candles, you can use them with florals, and I just think they will look good in any season. Alright guys, before we move on, I want to tell you this video is part of the Using Trash to Create Treasure Challenge that my friend Casey at Coffee with My Sunshine hosts every single month. She asked me to be the co-host for this month, and I could not be more honored to do so. Casey has her own channel, as you probably already know. She is phenomenal. She's so talented, and she has tons and tons of inspiration in her channel. DIY, home decor, Dollar Tree, trash to treasure, you name it, she does it. Go visit her channel. I'm going to have her link down below in my description box. I'm also going to have the playlist link down below in the description box. If you are joining us in this challenge, go ahead and add your video to that link. I cannot wait to see what you create. But please visit her channel. If you are not subscribed to her channel, I highly recommend you do so. You're not going to be disappointed, I promise. Alright guys, so now on to DIY number 2. I'm going to take this empty container. This is a can that I used when my son was still drinking some powdered milk, and it is a good size can. I really love the size. I'm kind of saddened that he doesn't drink that powdered anymore because I enjoyed having them when they emptied out. So I'm going to give it 2 coats of Rustoleum chalk paint in the linen white. Alright, so while the paint dries, I'm going to take this leftover piece of fabric. This is from burlapfabric.com. It's very unique fabric. It's almost like a sack kind of fabric. And I cut it to the size that I needed for my can. I am going to stencil using this stencil, which I have used in several of my projects. But I'm not going to need, or actually I can't fit that bottom portion. So I taped it off. And then I'm going to stencil it using my sponge stenciling brush and Rustoleum chalk paint in the charcoal tone, and then let it dry. I am going to distress the can using this Artisa fabric permanent marker. It's meant for fabric, but really it worked really well with this can. And I'm just going to give it more of an enamel kind of style distress. So that is why I'm distressing it with that instead of distressing it with dry brushing or sanding it or wet distressing. You can do anything you want. I just decided to do more of an enamel style look.
Save me, no, and don't come running to blame me. From miles away I can tell that something's off. The way you look and how you pause when you talk, I think I said enough. You said you love for me something brand new. You said this is something.
Right now I am going to put everything together, and I am going to hot glue the fabric onto the front using the hot glue, and not just on the corners, but then I decided to add a little bit more on the edges on the sides so that it is nice and flush with the can. I decided to add a handle, so I am going to drill a couple holes on each side. I'm using a drill bit, and then I'm going to use a Bates blade because I want it to be a little bit larger because I'm going to use nautical rope from the Dollar Tree as the handle. So that is what you're going to see me using, 2 different drill bits. But then once I had the holes, I added nautical rope, and that's it. We'll be done with this one. And oh gosh, I can't pick a favorite, but this is up there with my favorite. It's so cute. It has so much room inside. You can store things in the kitchen. You can use it as a flower pot. You can use it in so many ways, and I cannot wait to add it to my decor in my home.
Then just do it. Let's be honest for a second. Yeah, you're being over your head, babe. 'Cause there is no one other than me that can make you feel the way you feel when
Guys, I always want to remind you about my new channel, Beauty and Purpose at Home, where it's all about home inspiration, hauls, vlogs, cleaning, organizing, all kinds of home inspiration. So if you want to visit that channel, I invite you to do so. The link is down below in the description box as well. All right, moving on to our last DIY. This is a what was it, a container that we had nuts in. I think it was either almonds or some sort of nuts, maybe mixed nuts. And it was empty. Again, a good size container. And so I am going to use some spackle and kind of add texture to the outside of the container. I have used this technique in other of my DIYs, and I really love the way you can just really just add a lot of texture and a whole new look to any container. It gets messy, but it's kind of therapeutic. I feel like a little kid when I'm playing with this. So I'm just going to add this all around, all around. I didn't even worry about removing the sticker because you're not even going to see it. And it was really, really stuck in there. It was not worth the time and the effort. So I'm just going to wrap all of this spackle all around, leaving a good texture, and then let it dry for a few hours.
I think I said enough. You said you love for me something brand new. You said this is something you would never do. Here we are in a car. Let me see who you are, who you really are. Yeah, don't need you here to say you're sorry. 'Cause if you're gonna
Once I had added enough spackle where I was pleased with, then I just kind of flatten it using my palms. Again, this is just so that it kind of doesn't have as much of like spikiness. It's a little bit more secure and flattened. Once it was dry, I am now going to give it one heavy coat of Rustoleum chalk paint in the linen white and let it dry.
I've been lying here for too long. I don't know what else to do. I wanna get away from every little thing just to try to make it through. I've been thinking about my options, every detail in my head. But it doesn't really matter, nothing matters, so I cry instead. I've been running circles, trying to catch my breath. I've been trying everything I can, but I ain't got.
We are going to keep this one very simple. That is it. Now I'm going to add a ribbon. This is a buffalo check ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to add it all around the rim. That is why I left it as is. I didn't have to paint it because I knew I would cover it. I'm going to fold it in half and just wrap it around the top rim and then make a simple bow in the front.
I've been staring at the ceiling. I've been staying up all night. Everything I ever worked for vanished in the blink of an eye. I've been asking every question, 'cause I haven't got a clue what Why's it gotta be me? What the hell am I supposed to do? I've been running circles, trying to catch my breath. I've been trying everything I can, but I ain't got nothing left. And I know there's so much more.
As a final detail, I am going to add this tiny little chalkboard sign from the Dollar Tree. It had a pick on the back. I just removed that and hot glued it to the front center, and we'll be done. This one turned out absolutely adorable. Guys, can you believe this was a mixed nut container? Seriously. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is it for today, and if you are visiting for the first time, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have not subscribed, I ask that you consider doing so, joining our YouTube family. And if you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. So grateful for your time. And guys, don't forget to visit Casey. I want to thank her for just inviting me to be part of this collaboration and this challenge. And visit her channel down below. Visit my new channel. And I have this link here for my playlist of Trash to Treasures if you want more inspiration. Bye, guys.